Hi Reinhard. Hi Cherise. Hello Melissa. Nada. I think let's rather keep the hat on. Hi Joanne. Hi Nick. Gaan met jou? Good evening guys. I see we've already got some requests to join the live, so I hope you're all well. Just a quick rundown of all the topics for the night. Obviously, we've got a youth topic, and that is whether or not the youth of South Africa should concern themselves with the politics of this country and why. And then our second question, our second topic of discussion for the night is obviously our military veterans policy. So I'm hoping that Eugene will be able to join a little later to speak a bit more on that subject. And then the third question that I asked was, is South Africa savable and how? And then the final point of discussion obviously is the ultimate goal, and that is obviously removing the ANC from government. So those are the four discussion points for the evening. So I see I've already got 3 requests, so I'm not going to wait any longer. I'm going to see if I can invite my first guest for the evening. I see it's Prudence. So let's see if we can get Prudence to this live quickly. Hi Derek. I'm just waiting for Prudence. Sometimes it takes a few seconds. I think I seem to be having difficulties trying or connecting Prudence to this live. So let's see if we can give someone else an opportunity. Johan Strydom. I'm sure this is the Johan that I'm thinking of now. Johan in Gauteng. Okay, I can't add Johan to this call either, or to this live. So I don't know what the problem is at the moment. Let's try Prudence once again. Hi, Adlita. Guys, please excuse me if I keep the hat on tonight. I had a bit of a rough hair day, as you can see. So I think for your safety and for my own, I'm just going to keep the hat on. I might exchange hats in the middle of this live recording. So, yeah, just bear with me. Gloria, let's see if we can add Gloria. I don't know why we are having difficulties tonight adding people to this live. So hopefully I'm going to be able to add Gloria as well. Hi, Mariana. Yeah, tonight's a bit of a struggle. I don't understand what's going on. Guys, if I send you a request, you just need to click on it on your side as well, because I can see your request on my side. But if I approve your request, I think a request gets sent back to you. So you need to just click on it when you receive it, so that you'll be able to join me. Arlita, yes, I'm visiting my dad in the Free State. It's his birthday today, and this is his study. So as you can see, there's a few things hanging on the wall here. Let's just see quickly. Cherise, let me add Cherise. I'm having difficulties adding Gloria, Johan, and Prudence, and I don't know why. Success at last. Cherise,
Hallo, gaan dit om so?
hoe gaan het met jou?
Altyd goed, help jy om te kla nie?
Cherise, ja, ek hoop jy gaan ons youth question vir die aand gaan jy beantwoord vir ons.
That's correct, Jess.
Oh, and I see someone else is joining you as well. Split screen. I didn't even know this was possible.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, no, wait a second. Let me just cancel this one. So,
Yes.
Cherise, obviously, our youth topic for the evening is, should our youth be concerned with the politics of South Africa, and why? And I just want to say hi to our VP Fatima and to Ronnie, and they both just said hi to me, so I just want to say hi back. So, Cherise, but please continue and excuse the noise in the background. We've got a party here in the living room, and it's my whole family and their kids, so it's a bit noisy, so apologies. So, but please carry on.
No problem. I hope you're actually enjoying the party afterwards. So
I ate way too much. I'm actually a bit nauseous here where I'm sitting, so I'm going to have to excuse myself in a couple of minutes just to go and drink some Enos or something.
Okay, no problem. I would say yes to that question. The reason for that is if I knew what I know now, when I was in school and in teenage years, I would have been part of the political parties long time ago. And to be honest with you, the day when I saw the UIM, that actually planted the seed of politics in my life because of all the lives that Neil and Fatima and yourself did on that time of the elections. And for the UIM to have brought all the corruption out that is going on in politics, and that is why I say we did not know that in our youth time. So if you see the problems in our youth, you think that politics are for the older generation. But who has more experience in our country, and what do we know that is the youth in South Africa about politics? So that is why the youth actually, they don't want to get involved in politics. The reason for that is they feel they don't know anything, and it is for the older generation. If you look at the statistics, SA has 60 million citizens in South Africa, whereby approximately 20 million is youth. So that is a very big population in South Africa for 2024's election time as well. And in 2008, this was for me very interesting when I read it up. The passing rate for exams was 62.5%. And in 2018, when Cyril took over from in the parliament and went into presidential side, the passing rate was 78.2%. Right now, that's in 2018. Cyril is already 4 years in control of the ANCs and the president of South Africa. The passing rate went down to 30%. And again, that is the pass rate for matrics. So now, if you want to become a doctor, you want to become an accountant, an advocate, or any other thing, your business economics that you had in school, accounting, science, all of those, you only have to get 30% of pass rate, which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And if I go, for instance, now in 2029, that's now the future. I go to the hospital, I land in emergency because I hurt my knee. Now a doctor comes that had 30% rate in matric, got into university, studied. Also, the rating was ridiculous in 2021. And he diagnosed me with a knee injury. He diagnosed me with a child disease of whooping coughing. So you see where I'm going with this. It's with the passing rate, the government is failing us completely with that. Now, for us that are youth, if we know that in our time in school, from 16 to 18 or to 25 years, then we can actually stand up and say, you know what, this is our future. We must look at our kids in the future, and we must look at the people that's going to handle our things. And if you are an accountant, what's going to happen with the books of SARS and all those places? Even the government's booking, it's going to be a flop. And if you look at the responsibilities for education is on yourself. Yes, you need to go study and all those things. But for the youth of today, they think, you know what, passing rate is 30%, so why must I study? Just focus on school. Just see what the teachers are saying in class, whereby there's a lot of raids happening in schools. I mean, look at what happened this week at a university of an EFF supporter that raided that entire university. The security guard just walked past him, or actually just off with him, did nothing. So where's the respect in our country? And the youth of today is our future leaders. But with a pass rate as that, I don't think SA has a future at all. If you have 30% pass rate and want to go to university, you should not be let in with that passing rate. But because you did not work for an education, you burned down schools, you and the colleges, and again, our government has failed our youth, and again, we the youth did not know what is going on due to lack of political knowledge, because we don't
Yeah.
have that knowledge. And then another thing, politics controls South Africa, and not just South Africa, it controls the entire world. And the government is supposed to keep South Africa in line, but instead of doing that, they are doing other things, and they are breaking South Africa down, putting South Africa in a position that it can go bankrupt. And if you look, the other thing is Cyril Ramaphosa, right, is 69 years old. Pension starts at 60. So why is he still in government? Isn't he supposed to be retired already? Just asking.
I don't think it works that way.
I'm just asking.
I don't think it just got anything to do with it, but I hear what you are saying, yeah. Yeah, Cherise, now you're making valid points. You are making very valid points. I think one thing that the people out there also need to know is that if you are 16 years old at the moment in 2022, then it means you are going to be able to vote in 2024. So from grade 10 to grade 12, all those kids that are still in high school, they are all going to vote in 2024.
Exactly.
So, I mean, obviously they've got, if when you're that age, you're not too stressed about politics because you've got other things to worry about, obviously. But we need to find a way to get the message to them that we need them, because we do. We need them. We need their votes. We need them to take part in the 2024 elections because, every seat counts and every vote counts. Some of these margins, the margins between ANC retaining power and losing power, those margins are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And at the end of the day, in 2024, 1 or 2 seats might make a huge difference in the elections. So we need every single vote, especially that youth vote. And we are busy, as you know, you and Nadia and everybody else on our youth committee. We are very busy formulating strategies and plans to do exactly that, to make sure that we educate the youth and that we, introduce politics to them in a very, how can I put it, acceptable way. We don't want to hit them with all the rough stuff for now, but we want to slowly start introducing them to politics because, you know what, there's such a bad... people associate the word politics with bad stuff. And that's why they always joke about it and say that you never discuss religion and politics around a campfire or a braaivleisvuur, because those are taboo subjects. Those are sensitive subjects, but they shouldn't be. I think it's important for us to discuss politics, and it's important for everybody to be talking about it because, as you said, it rules our very existence. It determines our futures. Everything in this country that happens, all the decisions that get taken, all these rubbish decisions that get taken that are affecting us in a bad way has got absolutely everything to do with politics. So it's important that people start educating themselves and getting involved.
That is true. And for me, I would actually like to see the youth stand up and say enough is enough. Because it's as we say, and you also said it a lot of times, we are gatvol. for the government and the politics that are happening at this moment. And the youth has really been left behind. There's no way of seeing of what actually happened to the youth. They have been left behind. It's the same as the pensioners. Nobody cares for them. And if we can start educate them and tell them, even if we just go to people and say, listen, if you want to vote for 2024, make sure you vote for a party that stands up for you, that wants to give you the right of your voice, because at this moment, the youth doesn't have a voice. And we as the UIM, we want to say, give us that chance to be your voice in the parliament, and you will have your voice be heard. And as I said previously, the youth is our future leaders. So
100%. 100%. Thanks, Cherise.
it's a pleasure. And enjoy
Well
the rest
said.
of the night. Enjoy the life.
Thanks a lot, Cherise.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye. Our VP, Fatima. I see she has honored me with a request. So let's see if I can add her.
Good evening.
Good evening, my lovely Vice President. I can't see your face. You are not on the screen.
Yeah, I am. Can you see me now?
No, I can't. On my side, it still says joining.
Because I can see us both on screen.
Can you see? Oh, then there must be something wrong with my connection then. But you are more than welcome to go ahead. If everybody else can see you, can I just get confirmation from our viewers whether or not you can see our VP? Then, no, Cherie says no. Can I ask you a favor? Can I sign you off and can you send me another request? Hello. No, we are having difficulties. Let's try that again. VP, just send me another request, please, so that I can just try to add you again. We couldn't see you on the screen. Let's see if we can try this again.
Okay. Can you see me now?
Can't see you.
Wow.
I can't see you. I can hear you, but I can't see you. Everybody says that they can hear you, but they can't see you. So I don't know if is it a camera problem or is your camera on? Can you hear us? Ay, genade. Sorry guys, apologies. Yeah, these are things we struggle with regularly. So just please be patient so that we can try and connect VP to this live. In the interim, let me see if I can connect Johan Strydom, who wanted to join earlier on, and then we'll give our Vice President a chance to reconnect. Goeienaand, Johan.
Hallo Jacques.
Waar is jy, Johan? Ek kan jou nie sien nie.
Sorry man. Ja, ek sukkel ook so 'n bietjie hoor. Dis 'n bietjie tamaletjie hoor. Wel, Jacques, kan jy net vir die mense verduidelik as ons miskien die wat nou sukkel soos ek, wat ons moet doen en dan kan ons dit daar verder vat.
Johan, jy is op die live nou, so jy kan praat. Can you guys hear Johan? Hello? No, guys.
Ja,
I
Jacques.
don't know what's going on at the moment. Let's try and see if we can add Melissa to this call. I don't know why we are having so many difficulties tonight. Melissa.
Koek, nou is ek sommer op, hallo.
Ons kan
Hallo.
jou ten minste sien. Ek weet nie hoekom kan ons nie die ander mense sien nie.
Weet ook
Dit lyk
nie.
vir my als werk aan my kant en als werk aan
Ek
jou
sien
kant.
so. Ek sien so.
Yes, hoe gaan dit met jou?
Goed, dankie. Kan nie kla nie.
Okay, watse punt gaan jy bespreek vanaand of het jy net 'n general remark wat jy wil maak?
Ek het 'n general news wat ek met julle wil share, nee.
Okay.
It's according to ANC. ANC's deployment committee intervened in an appointment process, and they actually covered 88 different state institutions while Cyril was in presidency. So he's covering 88 different institutions, putting people in there. They call it the cadre employment. They started that when they got presidency a few years ago, and they implemented that under the ANC, and that directly they implemented that to get people employed by the state. And they need skilled servants to create dedicated services. So if they are taking people in and putting them through that cadre employment, how do we know that they are skilled? They're covering that through all their buddies in the presidency firstly. All the parties that they cover get those employments first. The ANC is just about hijacked every platform and empowered every field that you can think of, getting those vacancies filled. And most of the party officials get paid and it's not even booked. I ran some tests and I did some research, and the poor people in South Africa still stay poor and they will never get to the top because of this cadre employment system. I never knew about this until I saw it today. And I wonder how many people know about this cadre employment. They've got the monopoly employing people. And to free our state, we'll require to bring up firewalls between the public and the politicians and the public service. We'll have to rewrite that whole thing and get that reinstated. And so you can just call Cyril the hollow president, because he's just got nothing out of his circle. Everything is covered by that cadre circle.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, we just have to look around us to see what's happening. I mean, you mentioned earlier that they are employing people, and I mean, we don't know what these people's skill levels are, but I can tell you what their skill levels are. But I mean, because just look around you, the country's crumbling.
Exactly.
I mean, our country I mean, we've hit junk status.
Exactly. Look at Patrice Mossopi, who's his brother-in-law. How the hell did he get 815 billion into Sanlam? Where does that come from? How do you cover that?
Oh, you know what? There's so many questions out there that need answers. I mean,
yeah.
if we you know what? I don't even know where to begin. But you know what? This is just another thing that they are busy with. That is showing, you know, that is showing in the state of this nation. Long story short, we need to remove them. I mean, it's you know what you are saying now ties in nicely with that point number 4 on the banner, where I said that the ultimate goal should be to remove the ANC. This is something that I discussed on a meeting last night with a bunch of people when I told them, you know, our ultimate goal. The goal of every political party in South Africa at the moment, and there's about 327 of them. I don't know why. How's that possible? But there's 327 parties. Now, I'm sure we don't all agree on everything, but I'm hoping that all of us at least have the same major goal in mind, and that is removing the ANC in 2024, because they've been in power for 27 years. Yes, there's opposition parties and other parties that haven't made any difference whatsoever, but everybody must just understand that South Africa is a party-dominant democracy, which means the majority rules. So those other parties in government, in parliament, if they don't make up more than a third of the voting capacity in parliament, then they've got no voice, because in parliament 2/3 majority rules. So any law that gets passed, any decision that gets taken in the National Assembly gets passed by a 2/3 majority vote, and the ANC they've obtained that 2/3 majority for the last 27 years,
And even in situations where they almost fell short or just fell short, I'm not too sure about the history. Other parties like the EFF have come and bailed them out. So they've
Yeah.
always retained their 2/3 majority. So you know what? When I studied constitutional law, our lecturer basically told us, and she said, you know what? Those other parties in parliament, they all have the right to come up with new laws or new suggestions or ideas or whatever,
Exactly.
but they get shot down. So it's a false sense of democracy that these people have in the National Assembly because their voices actually don't count. It's like
Yeah.
they're being patronized because they are being told, yeah, you know what, your voice counts and your opinion counts and your vote counts. No, it doesn't, because it gets shot down by the 2/3 majority vote of the ANC every single time. And the only way for us to change this is to make sure that they don't obtain that 2/3 majority. And for that matter, you know what, with a little bit of hard work and luck and cooperation from all the people in South Africa, we can remove them completely.
Yeah, I think they need skilled servants to create a dedicated platform and an institution which is mandatory with a public service where they can have entry-level exams for all of those. If you enter anyone in any vacancy, there must be an entry-level exam, whether you've got your certificate. I just think with that cadre employment system, there must be an entry-level exam. You can't just put anyone in there. That's why they put them in, because they know they're going to get the votes. So the more they put in there from their circle, the more they covered.
But Melissa, let me ask you this. Do you think the
Yes.
ANC is going to implement that?
No, that's why they've got the SCADIC employment, because it covers everything.
So
They're
every
hiding it under
suggestion that you just made is something that whichever party ends up ruling in 2024, that's not the ANC. That is something that that party or government needs to implement,
Yes,
because the ANC is not going to do it. So you've come up with a great solution, but that is a solution that's going to have to wait for another
Yes.
2 years, because there's no
Exactly.
way that the ANC or the current government is going to implement it.
I just feel
Whoever takes
this
over, and hopefully someone else does, they need to implement that in 2024. And people must realize this, that, you know what, we always come up with a lot of great ideas, and there's great ideas being discussed on these platforms. But people must understand these ideas are going to have to wait for another 2 years. And the only way for us to implement these great ideas is to make sure we remove the ANC, so that the government that takes over, they need to implement these ideas. Hopefully it's us. If it's not us, whether it's the DA or whoever else, they need to implement these structures and these ideas, because the ANC is not going to do it. The ANC is not going to change a damn thing from now until 2024. They are not going to change anything. So we can bark and we can make a noise, and they just don't listen, and they just don't care. But we mustn't stop. We need to keep making a noise so that we can wake up the people of South Africa to join us in this fight. That's why we are making a noise. We are not making a noise so that the ANC can hear us. We are making a noise so that the people of South Africa can hear us and wake up and join our movement or our fight. Guys, I see my requests have dried up, so can I ask our VP to just maybe try and send another request again? Sorry, Melissa. Yeah, I unfortunately we got cut off. I lost. I think you lost signal most likely. Yeah, is VP gone? Oh, that's unfortunate. Let me just say I've got a request here. Goeienaand, Johan. Daar sien ek jou nou mooi. Welkom, welkom. Dit is inderdaad die Johan wat ek aangedink het. Daar's net een Johan Strydom. En dis Johan Strydom wat al van die begin af saam met ons is. Johan, is lekker om jou te hê. Baie dankie dat jy my gejoin het hierso.
Ja, so groot plesier.
Okay, die vloer is joune.
Okay, Jacques, jy sien daar's 'n groot probleem verband met die jeug. Die groot probleem is, in jare toe ek op skool was, daar was so ding soos dissipline. So in vandag se wêreld is die kinders hulle voel nie meer lus om by die skool te wees nie, want hulle weet niks van politiek. En dan vra ek met my 2 dogters in verband met politiek. Dan sê hulle staan nie belang nie, maar toe sê ek, die rede hoekom ek dit doen is vir julle, want as ons nie meer daar is nie, wat gaan van julle word? So as jy ordentlike education gaan hê nie, wat gaan van hulle word, verstaan? Vir die huidige oomblik, soos dit nou al gaan, dan, die ANC, en neek alles op. Ons kan nie nou verder so aangaan nie. Ons moet 'n standpunt, hoe kan ek sê, ons moet 'n punt maak daarvan om hoe kan ek sê, die jeug te educate verband met die politiek.
Jy is
So, ja,
100% reg, Johan.
Ja, want ek weet nie of jy weet nie, maar blykbaar daar's wat nou Vrydag gaan plaasvind. Ek weet nie of jy weet daarvan nie. Hulle beplan 'n complete shutdown van die hele Suid-Afrika. Nie die ANC nie, maar as mense
Ek het soiets gehoor, maar ek het dit nou nog nie geverifieer nie. So ek wil nie te veel daaroor sê of praat nie, want ek het nou nog nie enige inligting gekry wat jy weet wat dit geverifieer het nie. Ek het nou al gehoor daar's 'n paar WhatsApps wat hier rond te doen en 'n paar mense wat goedjies rond vertel, maar soos ek sê, ek het nog geen confirmation gekry dat dit die waarheid is nie. Maar it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Jacques, the biggest problem in South Africa is if we don't take a stand for our country. And at my work, I talk to a lot of African people, and I tell them, listen here, what you are doing, the ANC is still going to be we have to make, how can I say this? We have to stand together, because if we can't stand together, how are we going to take out the ANC? That's the only thing, the only main reason. So yeah.
Yeah, it's true, Johan.
Yeah. This
is the one thing that we are stressing, that we keep on stressing every single week is that word, unity. Samewerking. That's the only way. If that doesn't happen, we can forget about it. We can forget about it. If we don't work together and if we don't join hands and unite against a common enemy, then nothing's going to remove the ANC. That's a fact.
But hopefully you can be there on the 25th of June. I hope you can be here with us.
Yes, I am. I am. Thanks, Johan.
Ja, okay. Dankie, Jacques. Maar hoor hierso,
dankie dat jy gejoin het, ek waardeer.
Ja, dankie hoor.
Thanks, Johan.
Yes, hoor.
Good evening, Idan.
Good evening, how are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
Good. Okay, so I can say my opinion.
Yes, please.
Okay, I don't know why you're concentrating to move some party as ANC or that party or I think the problem is actually more in the side, because I did for so many years to train farmers and try to help to the farms community in some way, and I see what make me concerned and worried is how people in that community are not standing together. And when I'm saying not to stand together, it's not about to create a war or to create a movement can cause things to become much more sour. And I think at least the country I come from Israel. I'm coming from a small country, I mean, we are 9 million people population, and I think what's missing in South Africa is unity, not to try to poke someone or to try to say this is you know, this is belong to me, and this is belong to this is the right things to answer that, to do things, you know, such as extreme and races and stuff like that. And when I train a farmers, I always say, you guys have all the right to protect yourself. You have all the right to defend yourself. You have all the right to stand on your ground, but do not do that in the way of of the other side of extreme, because then you become exactly like them. So it's not I think it's not a question of to remove parties or to fight against a government, because it's almost like you know, to make a movement, I believe, and what I see, to make a movement and to make something actually work, it starts from people themselves, the movement themselves, the unity together, but not to say, okay, you know, I want to move and I want to do something and only for my community, because these balls are not, you know, this wheel will never stop to turn, because you need to look for something and standing together for the community, for the people, for the farmers, but with understanding you have other people to accommodate, and to see how, yes, to bring this together. And I know it's a difficult task, but it's not start to move parties. It starts from to standing together, because if you don't standing together, unity, you cannot move even basically nothing. So this is just my opinion. That's all.
I 100% agree with you, but I want to ask you something. Do you feel, would you prefer another party maybe being given a chance to govern in 2024, or are you willing to, or let me just ask this in the right manner. Do you think South Africa will survive economically if the ANC has to rule for another 5 years in 2024?
Okay, so I said that straightforward and not to be too much diplomatic. ANC is not the best party. I agree with you, but I to say that politely. For this point of time, it's something you want to keep, because God forbid if other parties go to get more power, and they go to get more power and to control this country, or even to vote to be a president, okay, then oh my God, then it's got to be much more worse, and it's got to be much more difficult to fight or to try to do some movement. So in my humble opinion, if you're looking on 2 years from now in 2024, with all, this is only my humble opinion, what I see and what I deal with, you know. For people know me, I have some few clashes with the other party, Mr. Malema and all these things, you know, and at least in the ANC, I don't say you have a lot of people to talk or to understand you, but I don't want to, God forbid, to that party, what is called EFF, to be in control in that country, and then it's a bad thing. So this is if I can choose and we can go me realistically, I will keep the ANC and try to do something there. Because if I'm looking on the DA and other party, with all due the respect, I think they give up long ago to, you know, to fight for it, I think, properly. So this is my humble opinion.
Thanks, Idan. Now, you are making very valid points. You know, the problem is you know, it's not only the ANC that have let people down. I think most political parties and politicians have let people down, and that's why people don't have faith in politicians anymore. So that's even when you are, you know, trying to speak on behalf of a new political party, or even when you form a new party, people always shake their heads and they say, you know what, just another bunch of politicians. And you know what, we started off as a movement last year, and we wanted to actually stay a movement. We never wanted to be a party, but we also realized that, you know, the way our government and our system is set up, you know, we do have a National Assembly, and political parties make the decisions in this country, unfortunately. So if we want to have any say in that, we need to be there, you know, where those decisions are taken. But I agree with you 100%. I mean, I've only voted once in my life, and I'm 42 years old, because I feel exactly the way you feel, because I always said, you know what, I don't want to hear the word politician, because they're all the same. And it's difficult it's difficult to make people believe in you, that you are, you know, you might be in a political party, but you're not a politician at heart. You know, I do believe that there are people out there that fight in the political arena, but they are not politicians at heart. They are normal people that are trying to make a difference in that world. But yeah, it's very difficult. You know, the world of politics it's a bunch of sharks. Yeah.
Yeah, politicians are not, unfortunately, politicians are politicians. As the men protect many politicians in Israel, and even protect Mr. Ramaphosa before he be a president, he be a businessman, and I be his close protection officer, one of the member of the team. And you're right, politician is a politician. And to have a good leader, a good party, it's really to see the people of South Africa in front of their eyes, the land, the flag. You do it from your heart and nothing else. No money movement or drive you. And you know, it's like to win the lotto to find this kind of people. This is the truth of 2022. It's literally to win the lotto. If you find people like that, sure, it's just winning the lotto. So, and God in control, so we just need to pray. But like I said before, I say goodbye. It's just to people stand together, and not by hate and not by nothing, but for the right things. I remember one time the BBC done interview because of my training of the farmers and all these things. So I say, I'm coming from a country believe in peace. We really believe in peace. But if somebody want to attack me, I have all the right to defend myself. I'm not attacking back. I'm defending myself. I'm not attacking any civilians, any innocent people, but I will stand on what and fight in what is right. I'm not going to try to fight and to fight like them, like what they do. Then I become a terrorist also. If I am a white Jewish person and now I say, okay, I will take a movement and I will now go to do what they do to the farmers. I know you have a lot of anger and stuff like that, but you become a terrorist in a second. So even my point, if you do a movement, just make sure you stay in the right side of the fence. That's all.
Thank you, Idan. Thank you very much. I appreciate your comments. It's nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
God bless you. Bye.
Okay, guys. Let me see if I can add Steve. I think you are all familiar with Steve. He's been on this live with me once before. I just have to mention something. Idan made some great points. He touched on a couple of things there that we spoke about quite a while back. And this is one thing that we are trying to show to the people, you know, the people that we are speaking to. It's so difficult to convince people that you're not a politician. It's so difficult because at the end of the day, you are. You might not be one at heart, but I mean, we are part of a political movement. And we are talking about politics and dealing with politics. So for us to convince people out there that we really care and that we really give a damn and that we are not politicians, you know, the way that people see politicians, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. And you know what? And the proof is in the pudding. And it's going to take some time for us to prove ourselves. And I think politicians have given other politicians or people such a bad name in the last 27 years, so that I fully agree with what Idan is saying. Is you know what, people run away when they hear the word politician. They run away, and for good reason. So Idan made some very valid points. So Idan, thank you for your comments. Yeah, and I hope to see you again in the future on one of these lives, because yeah, it was very interesting to hear what you had to say. Good evening, Steve. How are you?
I'm well, and you, Jacques?
I'm fine, thanks. It's nice to see you.
Yeah, glad to be able to pop in here at the end, or as far as we are at the moment. I have been listening, and
I'm just
it's all
going
very
to
interesting.
put on a special hat for you, Steve. Seeing that we're talking about farmers, en ek is mos nou ek kom ons nou hier van die Vrystaat af, so daar sy.
Ek sien jou. Unfortunately, my hat is packed away, but that's fine. My haar is nou 'n bietjie te mekaar vanaand, maar ek kom maar van die werk af, so. I just want to talk about a couple of things. I told you I was going to do a thing on why, what, and how. So I just want to mention some of these things. My biggest question is to the people on this live right now is why, as a nation, do we continue voting for the same parties? These parties have been around for 28 years, if not longer. Okay, some of them longer. The DA used to be the DP, and whatever. These people have been around forever. The DA, being the opposition party, is absolutely no opposition, because they actually don't oppose anything. They just complain. So that is and I say that with respect, and that's a sad thing, because I know the mayor. Yeah. Just a couple of points I want to highlight here. We've got Eskom, which is a mess, which is actually causing so much trouble in our country, especially financially as well, as far as the economy is concerned. We need qualified engineers. This is the difference between the United Independent Movement Party and other parties, and I want to make this very clear tonight, is that if we get the opportunity of running this country one day, everybody that will be put in power, in positions for Eskom, it'll be an engineer. It won't be a farmer. Okay? We put the right people in the right places. If you want to be the Minister of Police, you have to come up through the ranks, and Neil has spoken about this before. Not just go there. I mean, our Minister of Police has a diploma in primary school education. I mean, really? I see he was also the Minister of Agriculture at one stage. It doesn't make sense. Okay, so this is what they do. We have a woman sitting in the government offices earning 2.5 million a year, and this comes off the Zondo Commission where she was being questioned. And the question they asked her is, what do you do for that money? And her answer directly was, well, I have to read newspapers. So every day she reads newspapers and she gets paid a salary of 2.5 million a year. But our people are starving. Okay. Becky Tseli, the last I saw, was earning over 200,000 Rand a month. But I believe that's changed now. It's actually gone up. For a preschool or primary school educator, not a bad salary. I'm sure a lot of teachers would be quite upset about that. So I just want to go back to Eskom quickly. So we need engineers to run Eskom. We have private companies within South Africa that can supply electricity, but they're not allowing them to do it because they want to have that control. And they know that it irritates us, so they continue doing it. Our water infrastructure, the dams and everything is in disgusting condition, and it's completely broken down. This is why we have inferior water. I mean, I know, even in my area, sometimes I fill up my water bottles and I'm shocked to see what's floating around inside there. And we have to drink this. But no, we can't drink this, so now it costs us money to go and buy water. And half the time you don't know what you're buying anyway. And the price is ridiculous. The crime index, 76.86%. We are the worst crime country, number 3 in the world. It's ridiculous. In this year alone, which I found out the other day, our murder rate has increased by 22%. But yeah, The government is looking after us. They're doing a damn good job. Abuse of women and children. I actually saw a clip tonight, and I hope the guy gets arrested.
Oh,
Of
I
this
saw
guy
that clip as
beating
well.
his,
I actually
beating his
wanted to
wife.
mention that guy's name tonight, but I said
Yeah,
I wouldn't. But yeah.
Yeah, I sent him a message. I asked him to contact me so we can have a talk. It won't be words. Abuse of women and children. 1 in 5 women are abused. They say every hour. 1 in 5. Our hospitals are pathetic. People are lying on floors. I know. I've been to the hospitals, the government hospitals. There's no beds. So they will put you on the floor. And you will lie there with a drip or whatever, but you're on the floor. The food is disgusting. The petrol price, highest ever. Ever. It's affected everybody drastically. I mean, you go from 22 Rand or 23 Rand 99 for a tray of 18 eggs, and the next week it's 43 Rand. It doesn't make how much people live, how much they survive. This is what the ANC is giving us. Service delivery, there isn't any. Corruption is out of control. Defense Force Minister has never been in defense in her life. She has no idea. But she's the Minister of Defense that if we go to war one day, she's the chief. What is she going to do? Unemployment, I don't believe this figure. They say it's down to 35%. I think it's a lot more than that. Transport Minister has a degree in economics, but he's the Transport Minister. You know the story? Before you get into the taxi, you must take your seat. It doesn't make sense to me. These are words that come out of these guys' mouths. SOEs are missed. 5% of municipalities in South Africa actually work. The rest are in trouble. Big trouble. There is no more post office. SAA, all we do is spend taxpayers' money, and they are so corrupt over there, it just continues every day. Bad management, in fact, no management. People are not qualified to do the job and they just keep bailing them out. Zonda Commission, who went to jail? Nobody.
Yeah.
So this is just a small rundown. I'm sure there's a hell of a lot more that I can say. But what can we do about it? Why do we still vote for these parties? 28 years later. And in the 28 years, a lot has changed.
Yeah.
But to the detriment of the people. Not to the benefit of the people. There's one thing that I want to say. We don't want a ruling party. We want a governing party.
Yes.
We do not want to be ruled. We want to be governed properly. So people must go away from the words of ruling parties. We want to be governed by people that know what they're doing. And
Steve,
that people like, hello.
I just want to add to what you just said. We want to be ruled or governed by leaders. We don't want to be governed by political parties. The
Exactly.
UIM, we don't have any aspirations of ruling South Africa. This is not why we started the party, because, I mean, to rule South Africa, you have to be the dominant party, and we simply don't have the numbers to become that party, unless something drastically, miraculously happens in this country. That has never been our goal. That's never been our intention. That's not why we formed the UIM. We formed this party because we wanted to get a group of people together that could help us unite people in South Africa to stand up against this. Because you know what? People are not standing up for themselves, and they're not standing up for their neighbors and their fellow man, because we are being treated with absolute disrespect, and people, the government doesn't care about us, and we are powerless. Well, we are not powerless. People think they are powerless. So what we want to do is we want to show people that, you know what, if we unite in South Africa, instead of fighting over nonsense the whole time, if we actually unite, because we all live in this country, we are all paying the same flipping amount for fuel. We are all buying the same milk and eggs and bread. We are all driving on the same roads. Crime is affecting all of us. We are all victims of this, every single one of us. This is not affecting a certain group of people. Everybody's affected.
Exactly.
So if everybody's affected, then everybody should be hurtful. And if everybody's hurtful, then everybody must just work together, because we need to change it. Whether or not we remove the ANC or the ANC changes their bloody attitudes, which I don't think will ever happen, I don't care how it's done. But something needs to happen. It needs to change. And you know what? Promises are being made. When the president made his speech, when we did our, what was it, the State of the Nation address, when he discussed the budget, when he mentioned everything that he had planned for the new year, this nonsense, man. They don't keep their promises. So we need to hold them accountable, and they need to feel the pressure. They need to, because they don't worry. They don't worry because they know at the end of the day, the majority rules, and there's nobody that is standing up against them. And those that do stand up against them are not enough. They don't have the numbers. So they don't care. They don't care what they do. We want to change that. So we are not politicians. We don't have political aspirations. I mean, I'm not a career politician. I'm not going to government, even if I'm given the opportunity to. I know that there are certain people that have a heart and a passion for politics, and they would want to make that their career choice. Not me. I've got other stuff that I do. I'm doing what I'm doing now because, you know what? I want to do something. Because I want to stay here. I don't want to move. I don't want to immigrate. I'm not leaving my family here. My mom and my dad, and my brother, and my sister. I'm not going to move, even if I'm given the opportunity. So, you know what? If I'm going to stay here, then I want to make it livable for myself and for the people that I care about. My family and my friends and my people. And my people is everybody. Yeah. Everybody that respects me is my people. So we want to make this country livable. And you know what? The way things are going now, it's not going to be livable for much longer. So that is the reason why we are doing what we are doing, is we are trying to change things. And I know, once again, Idan, like I said, Idan made some great points when he said that, unfortunately, you know, for 27 years, politicians have done this to us and to the country. So the moment people hear that you're in politics, they don't even want to talk to you. And I get that. I understand that. But I want to say tonight, none of us are career politics. I mean, Steve, what do you do for a living? Tell everybody, what do you do every day?
Well, we build crates and we export stuff.
Exactly. I studied law.
I work with wood.
I'm going to become a lawyer, hopefully soon. Before that, I worked in Uganda for 2 years. A couple of years before that, I was working in a gym. Before that, I was playing rugby. Before that, I was working with my dad on the farm, working with the farmers in the Free State. I never wanted to become a politician. I still don't want to be a politician, but we are involved in a political movement that is trying to make a change and change things. And you know what? We are not doing that. We are not doing it the way other politicians are doing it. You don't see any other political party speaking to the people on a platform such as this. No one else is doing it. We are doing it because we want to speak to people. We want to hear what people have to say. We want to get people involved. And it's great tonight to listen to a bunch of people that I've never met before personally, but just to hear what they have to say. And everybody's making such great points. And at the end of the day, you know what? The common denominator, if you listen to all these people, is people actually just want to live in a country where things work, where they feel safe, where you understand what I'm saying? And they are all aware of the fact that we need to unite if we want to achieve this. That's all we are doing.
No, you know, the thing is, Jacques, the promises are too much. I mean, even I think it could have been last year or the year before that, where a bunch of women all marched onto Parliament, and they wouldn't leave there until Cyril came out and addressed them about the abuse and the child abuse and all these things. And he stood there and said very clearly, anyone who abuses women will be put in jail. Well, it's not happening.
No.
It's not happening. Okay. The other thing is, if you go on, I don't know, I'm sure people have noticed that there's more people living on the streets than there's ever been. It's actually unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, I just drove to Paarl today, and on the sides of the highways and the train stations, the police are there busy removing all the shacks that were put up over the weekend. people are desperate. They're looking for a place to stay. They're looking for safety. They're looking for security.
Yeah.
And obviously safety and security comes in numbers. You don't want to be stuck alone somewhere.
Yeah.
People live on the highways in between the barriers. It's ridiculous. You know, so what can we do about it? We can march. We can do a peaceful march to Parliament, but Parliament's not there anymore. We can do, as a country, if the people will just stand together and hold hands and agree, we can do a vote of no confidence. We can stop supporting all these other parties, and we can vote for a brand new party and give them a chance. Because at the end of the day, what have you got to lose? Absolutely nothing. Because they're either going to be worse than all the other parties, or they're going to be a little bit better.
Yeah.
You know, or maybe even a lot better. So why vote for the UIM? I'll tell you why. We are not politicians. We are people that suffer the same consequences as every other civilian, every other citizen out there. We battle with the electricity, we battle with the price of food, we battle with all these things, with the price of petrol and everything. We do that. We are not politicians, like you said. None of us have got that aspiration. Okay, but we have a love for the people.
Yeah.
And we have a love for our country. So as you know, I feed people. When I have the opportunity, I feed people. I'm going this weekend again. I'm going to be feeding people. Okay, I got some donations in. I'm going to be feeding people. Okay. We've got to protect, So we are people for the people. We have and are suffering exactly the same as all the people are. But like I said, we have the love for the people and for our country. That's why we want to meet people. That is why it is so important to the 152 people that are on here at the moment. If you want to get involved, if you want to know more about us, organize a Zoom. Contact me. I'll ask Cherise. I know Cherise is on here. Put my email address on here, Cherise, please. Contact me. And I will get Jacques to have a Zoom with you people. 5 people, 10 people, 30 people, it doesn't matter. Just so that we can explain our part, what we are doing. Go read our manifesto. It's brilliant. You will see where we're coming from. Everything that we've ever done in the UIM that we've promised to do, we've done. We make mistakes. We're humans. But we don't make mistakes that break people down and destroy the country. That we don't do. We can make errors. No one is perfect. But we work very, very hard. I work under Jacques, and I've been doing this for a year and 3 months now, for nothing, for free, because of my love for the people and this country. I meet people, I speak to people, it's amazing. And everyone thinks these people are all against us. They're not against us. They suffer the same things. They want the same things that we want. But one thing that we've got, and that our president has made sure, is the 5 C's. Stop crime in this country, stop corruption in this country, protect the constitution of this country, bring back the capital to the people, because that's where it should be. You pay taxes, the capital should come back. You should see it in your roads, in your service delivery, in creating jobs. That's where the money is. It should be coming back to the people. But it's just getting missing, going missing all the time. And put God back into schools, because our youth is in a massive mess at the moment, a massive mess. These children are so confused with life at the moment, and they're going to go to matric, or they're not going to go to matric, and they're going to finish, and before they finish, they know what are they going to do? Nothing. Because there is nothing. And this is a problem, and this now creates more people on the street. And this is because of this is where crime gets heavier and heavier. And because our people are not educated properly. The Minister of Education, I mean, I don't even know if she has an education. That's how sad it is. I mean, she wants to now go and remove maths and this and that to make it easier. How do you do that? It doesn't make sense. So they've already put our pass rate in schools down to, I don't want to, I'm talking under correction here, I think it's 30 or 40%. You can't get into university with 30 or 40%. So what are they trying to tell you? They want you to be stupid, rather. And the last thing I want to say is, get rid of these pensioners that are in Parliament. because the law of the land says 65. So does the law only apply to us and not to them? I mean, half of them have got one foot in the grave. They must go away now. Let the young people come through. Because I'm telling you, there are fantastic young people out there that can do a better job and that want to change this country. People that were born after 94, believe me, they will stand together and hold hands and fix this country, all races. And that's where we need to go.
Thank you,
I
Steve.
thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. Yeah, Steve, just to finish off, I think I'm going to end this live after I just quickly said my bit. I just want to, in response to what you are saying, is I just want people to know that we are not, obviously we are asking you to vote for the UIM because this is the movement that we have joined. But what we actually want you guys to do is there's a lot of great leaders in South Africa that are not in the UIM. I do believe that out of the 327 political parties out there, there are some good people and some good leaders. I wholeheartedly believe that. So you guys need to identify who those leaders are, and you guys need to support them. And then hopefully all of us can get together and join hands and work together. We are supporting OSA. I have to mention this tonight. OSA is fighting a battle against government, and that battle has gone all the way to the Constitutional Court because of the unconstitutionality of our current electoral system. Because currently independents are not allowed to run or to stand in the national elections or to be voted for, and that is something that OSA is fighting. Now, despite our differences, and I won't say we're not really that different, because I actually think we have the same values and the same goals. They are a different movement. We are the United Independent Movement. They are One South Africa. But at the end of the day, the UIM has said that we will defend our constitution. And that rule or that law that basically disables independence for running in the national elections, that's unconstitutional. So we as the UIM are supporting OSA in that regard, because they are fighting that. They are trying to change that act so that independents are allowed to run as candidates for the presidency or members of parliament in 2024. That is what the United Independent Movement, that's why it was formed in the first place, because back when we were still a movement, we wholeheartedly felt the same way. We never wanted to be a political party. We wanted to be a group of, that's why the movement is called the United Independent Movement. That's where the name comes from. We wanted to work together as a group of individual people, as independents. And we were basically doing exactly what OSA is doing. We just felt at some point that government was not going to allow us to contest the national elections, and that they were never going to change those laws to enable us to contest the elections. And you know what? That's why we decided not to take a chance, or not to leave it to chance, and to form a political party so that we could fight on that platform as well, eventually, if given the opportunity. OSA has always remained a movement. They never became a political party, and now they are in a massive fight now with government to change that law. And we have decided that we are going to support them, because that's how the UIM was formed in the first place. So you know what? We are holding hands, or we have joined with OSA in their fight against this unconstitutional act or law. So that's two movements, a political party and a movement working together and standing together to achieve a common goal, because that goal is for the benefit of the people of South Africa. We don't care if independents, in fact, we encourage independents to be allowed to stand as candidates in the national elections, because at the end of the day, the will of the people must prevail. And if people vote for a leader instead of a party, they should be allowed to do exactly that. So we encourage people to follow good leaders of South Africa. We feel that we have a good leader in Neil. We feel that our party is there for the right reasons, and we have faith in our own party. That's why we are part of it. That's why I'm a part of the United Independent Movement. But we are not telling people out there that everything begins and ends with the UIM. Not at all. There's a lot of great leaders out there that we actually need to encourage. I said on 2 lives ago that we will support any good deed done by any person out there. I don't care who you are, where you come from, what you look like. If you do a good deed, or if you are busy doing good deeds, we will support it. So once again, guys, this is not a political thing. We are not a bunch of politicians. We are in a political party because we want to make changes from within. And unfortunately, in this country, if you want to make certain changes, you have to do it on a political platform. But we are normal people first and foremost, just like the rest of you. And we are working really hard to see if we can achieve something good in the next 2, 3, 4, 5, hopefully 10 years. That's why we do what we do. So thank you for everybody complimenting on my hat. I've got another one that I want to show you actually before I sign off. So next time when I do a live from a beach, I'll be wearing this one. So I just want to say thank you guys for joining us tonight. Thank you for all the great comments, and thank you for everybody that joined me tonight, and for all your positive input. It was very informative. Thank you for your support. Yeah, and it's great to meet new people. It's great to meet new people every week and to hear what they have to say. So guys, thanks a lot. Have a good night and sleep well, and we'll chat soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.